radio program that features politics, the arts, and popular culture from a progressive point of view. Spectrum 360 broadcasts for 1 hour weekly on Monday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern Time and anytime via webcast at spectrum360media.com. Remember, Spectrum 360, it's politics and arts from a creative and progressive point of view.
Hi, this is Paul Malloy, host of Freedom Works, The Paul Malloy Show. I hope you'll join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, here on the TAN Talk Radio Network, where we strive to bring you the libertarian perspective on political events of the day. There's no show quite like Freedom Works, with in-depth interviews, our ultimate top 10 list, and so much more. So join us for Freedom Works, The Paul Malloy Show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. here on the TAN Talk Radio Network.
Hey, you new to the area or just want to know about the best hidden gems and upcoming events? Stay tuned. Be Local Buzz with Devin takes you to these places, introduces you to the best businesses, and tells you about upcoming buzz. Preset your radio to TAN Talk 1340 AM or 106.1 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. That is the Be Local Buzz with Devin on TAN Talk 1340 AM and 106 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. Looking forward to speaking with you.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
It's time for the Kelly Kelly Show on the TAN Talk Radio Network with your hosts Kelly Kelly and Doug Kelly. Kelly is an award-winning photographer and travel writer, as well as the publisher of the popular ColorfulClearwater.com blog. And Doug is the author of 3 published books and a contributing editor for Florida Sportsman magazine. Now, here they are.
Well, now, Kelly and I just got back from a 10-day trip in Alaska. And if you've never been there, you got to put it on your bucket list. It's just, as I was telling Big Ed Davis earlier, our executive producer, everywhere you look, it's a postcard.
It's true. It was a media trip.
Yeah, it was a media trip. And so we had the benefit of going for nothing, basically. The airfares were comped. And we went on a really small ship. It only had 33 passengers. And most of the cruise ships these days have 3,000 or 4,000 passengers.
True. It's true.
So it's a whole different experience.
An experience, yeah. That ship got up close to cliffs, and basically we came eye to eye with mountain goats and grizzly bears standing on shore, and that was very unique.
Yeah. It really was fun, and being a smaller ship, we were able to go through inlets that were shallow compared to the cruise ships. So we went to places we'd never been before. And we've been up there quite a few times, so it was a real kick. And Kelly, you've got some.
I got awesome photos,
you've got
but
some great
most
photos.
of them have to be saved for magazine queries.
Right.
So I'm posting a few on Facebook here and there, but the very good ones I've got to save.
The best one is that mountain goat. First of all, you don't see them that often. If you do, you see them like little puffs up on the side of a cliff or mountain. This thing was like standing, like it was posing. Yeah. And she had the telescopic lens, so she was able to get it.
Actually, the best picture was of you, Doug.
Of course, that's always the case.
Well, the ghosts probably have figured out by now that if you're on the ship, you're not coming anywhere near them.
Exactly.
They can shoot you the 4-letter word, whatever, the hoof, whatever. Yeah. You're not coming towards them. So. And
the grizzlies, the same thing. The brown bears.
Yeah.
There was one that was walking right parallel to the ship. Yep. And it was glancing over and looking at us sort of with a frown on his face, sort of like with the attitude, man, I wish you were over here and get my little paws on you.
On the fish.
Yeah, right. Anyway, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. Okay, we're going to take a short break and introduce today's guest, but first see if you know the answer to this. If you drove a car at 60 miles per hour, how long would it take to reach the sun? Is it 150 million years, 250 million years, or 450 million years? The answer right after this.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Perinick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
Shop the largest selection of Guy Harvey apparel, artwork, and gift items at GuyHarvey.com. From the world-renowned marine wildlife artist, the Guy Harvey online shop features the latest in performance apparel, classic Guy Harvey t-shirts, decor for every room in your home, exquisite ocean-inspired jewelry, and unique gift items, including custom merchandise not available anyplace else. Browse an extensive catalog of original Guy Harvey works of art and a full range of beautiful reproductions. As with all Guy Harvey merchandise, a percentage of sales benefits the ocean conservation, research, and education work of the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation will help ensure that future generations can enjoy and benefit from a well-balanced ocean ecosystem. Bring the undersea world into your everyday life at GuyHarvey.com.
Do you know what a truly special blog is? It's a website that's rated as one of the best in Florida, chock full of fantastic articles, humor, videos, and hundreds of cool pictures. So what blog is creating all that buzz? It's ColorfulClearwater.com, a blog on the internet created by Kelly Kelly. In only its second year, ColorfulClearwater.com is gaining in popularity every day due to its original writing and original videos and photography. It's updated several times per week with fresh content and includes everything about the color, culture, and vibrancy of Clearwater's citizens and businesses. Even though it covers just one city in Florida, ColorfulClearwater.com nonetheless is already outperforming blogs promoting tourist destinations and major sports teams. Hey, see for yourself. Give a visit to ColorfulClearwater.com and make it your source of enlightening insights and entertainment. That's ColorfulClearwater.com.
Ask any successful entrepreneur. They'll tell you that the fundamental way to grow a business is through strategic connections. Relationships drive business. Forming a solid network of reliable contacts is essential to your growth. And there's no better way to get connected in Clearwater than through membership in Amplify Clearwater, your Chamber of Commerce for Clearwater and Clearwater Beach. Amplify Clearwater is your first level of support. Membership affords you the opportunity to meet like-minded business owners you otherwise wouldn't have met. You'll be able to collaborate, network, support, bond, and do business with each other. Interested? Then visit amplifyclearwater.com. There you'll find all the information you need to make an informed decision and start the membership application process. Amplify Clearwater. One community, one chamber, one vision. Join today at amplifyclearwater.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
All righty. Thanks for being with us today on the Kelly Kelly Show. I'm Doug Kelly with my co-host, wife, and better 8/9. I go from half to 3/4 to larger or shorter.
There you go.
But before the break, Kelly asked if you knew if a car was driving 60 miles per hour, how long would it take for it to reach the sun? And she asked 150 million years, 250 million, 250 million, or 450 million. The answer is 150 million.
Huh.
I don't put them in the middle anymore, the right answers, because everybody guesses it. But 150 million years to reach the sun. Yeah, it's perspective, quite the perspective. Mm-hmm. By the way, before I introduce our next guest, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet to the Greg Gutfeld Show coming up this coming Saturday on July 15th, at the Sound at Coachman Park in Clearwater, get on it. Greg Gutfeld is the king of late night television on the Fox Network, and Kelly and I will be there. For tickets, contact Ruth Eckert Hall at 727-791-7400 or visit rutheckerthall.com.
Perfect. Colin Donaldson, whose nickname is Trash Colin, is an eco-activist and creator focused on plastic pollution and ocean conservation. Born and raised here in Tampa Bay, he started picking up trash every day to raise awareness and protect our beaches.
He's been featured in local and national media for his efforts in behalf of our beaches. Kelly, you wanted to interject.
Yes, he has 2.2 million TikTok followers.
Wow. That's a double wow. That's incredible. Hey, Colin, it's great to have you today with us on the Kelly Show.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Super, super. Well, we know you're a local Tampa guy, Tampa Bay guy. Where specifically?
Yeah, so I'm on the beaches, actually. I'm in like the Reddington Beach area, but born and raised here in St. Pete.
Ah, perfect. You're a Pinellas County chap then. That's awesome. That's great.
Where were you born and raised?
Right here in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, St. Pete.
Awesome. Yeah, and then I went to like Seminole area.
Yeah.
Went to high school out there, but I love this entire county. My favorite place.
Yeah. I love Tampa Bay, and we're going to be talking with our next guest about a real great addition here in Clearwater too, and that's the Coachman Park that just opened with a huge renovation. So he's our next guest is one of the council members here in Clearwater. So when did you first feel compelled to pick up trash?
Yeah.
When you were a kid or what?
It's funny because I have like videos of me back when I was in high school just yelling at like, why are people trashing the beach? That's just always something I've always cared about. But I've been making YouTube videos and content since I was in middle school. And then one day I used to work on St. Pete Beach, and I used to rent out jet skis and cabanas to the tourists that were visiting. And they would always come up to me. They'd be like, bro, you got the best job in the world. This is my favorite place to bring my family. We love it here. And then they would leave all of their trash in the sand. And it never made sense to me. I was like, how do you treat your favorite place like that?
I know.
So I just started picking it up, started talking about it. And then I challenged myself. I could pick up trash every single day and make a video about it. And I found TikTok and went on a 500-day streak.
Imagine.
So what got you the 2.2 million followers? Was it a particular photo? What?
That's a good question. I think it's a constant mix of multiple different things. I think there's a need for people to be advocates on that platform and in this space upcoming as social media becomes more like relevant in our lives. So I feel like I was kind of the first person. I was looking at videos. I was like, nobody's picking up trash and making videos about it. So why don't I do that?
Nice niche.
Yeah.
Nice niche.
Yeah.
Ed, you wanted to comment.
Well, I was just going to say that there's a lot of focus right now on the global warming issues and stuff like that, but you don't see a lot focused on the trash that's left behind in certain areas. Yeah. And listen, you're Colin, you're probably too young. In fact, I'll guarantee you're too young. But in the early 70s, there was a commercial that ran, was very powerful. And it showed the smog, and it showed it was about a 30-second and ended with a river on the shore and trash just kind of flowing in, and it panned up, and there was an American Indian standing there with a tear running down side of his face. Very powerful.
Yeah.
And that ran for years. And then somebody wrote an email, but not back then. You couldn't write an email. Somebody called and said it was offensive, and it got taken off the air.
I definitely was too young for that. But it's crazy because when I talk to older people, that's the one video that really resonated with them and kind of brought that.
But
focus.
if you go into some of these areas that people don't see on a regular basis, that the trash that builds up there, it's aggravating when you just see somebody toss something. Is it really that hard? I mean, you see people toss it out the window of their car.
Right.
You know, they get out of the grocery store, they just throw it on the ground, whatever. And it's like, you want to say pick that up, but then you could wind up on the 6 o'clock news for saying that. So,
that's why I do it on TikTok.
They tell you to mind your own business. Which technically it is, but
Well, I do a little metal detecting now and then.
Oh, that's so fun.
And the reason I bring it up is because you're on the beach a lot, or the beach escarpment, because sometimes when there's a big northeast or there's a big storm coming in, it picks up stuff on the bottom and kicks it up on the shoreline. And we're so often picking up bottle caps, tin cans from beer cans, junk. 99% of what you find is junk.
We should hang out sometime and go to the beach. You can keep the treasures. I'll keep the trash.
Yeah, you do the digging, and I'll do the sweeping.
There you go. That's a good team.
That'll be good.
Well,
That's
this
really good.
trash isn't just ending up on our beaches either. It's like 1 mile square in the ocean, or a little
the garbage
plastic
patch.
army man ending up on some island 4,000 miles away.
Yeah.
What's happening is a kind of a backstory to what's going on in Texas with the border crisis. Have you seen the trash on the border?
No, I haven't seen
that.
that.
People are leaving. It is incredible.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the amounts of trash, because they're camped out there. And there's no garbage pickup on the border.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they're just dumping all their trash there. You've got water, and everybody's giving them out water bottles. And what are they doing with the water bottles? Just throwing them on the ground.
Yeah.
There was Texas actually addressed that at one point with a plastic bag ban to kind of make a dent in it, and then they reversed it, so it came back. It actually did make a dent in the amount of trash that they were seeing over like a 2-year span, I believe, but then it came back. So.
Yeah, well, having civic pride is somewhat related to where you are. For instance, in Alaska, nobody throws their stuff in the water or trash, but they get a lot of it floating in across the Gulf of Alaska or whatever. So you'll see all this junk, but it's never from the natives.
The people are very protective in some areas.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
When I go to the Virgin Islands in St. Croix and I go to Buck Island is a national monument. And I can remember being on the boat, getting ready to snorkel. Somebody was smoking a cigarette and flipped their ashes over the side of the board, just on the side of the boat, just kind of flicked the cigarette ash. And the guy went up and he goes, "Do you mind not flipping your ashes in our national monument?"
Yeah, really.
I was like, he said it with a serious face, too. The
Good for
tourists
him.
laughed. I was like, he's not funny.
No.
Right.
Well, in Everglades National Park, the National Park Service, the officers there, boy, they'll write you up a major ticket if they see you leaving an island or tossing stuff out of your boat.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So
I love when it's enforced. You see the litter signs everywhere, like $1,000 fine, but I've never seen that.
I know. No, it's terrible. But I was glad that you're on the ball and you're getting some notoriety for it, which is great because it tells everybody else, hey, he's got a point here.
And that's kind of the way I wanted to approach it too. I didn't want to shame people or make it feel like they're a part of the problem. I kind of wanted people to join in and feel like this is a bigger than us. This is a movement we can all, kind of team up on. As
not
opposed
political.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's something too that I've noticed too. Like here, I've met people on all spectrums of like politics, but the one thing they always have in common, whether they're a fisherman, a surfer, a boater, if they spend any time on the water, they have this inherent love and need to protect the ocean. So that's something that I've noticed that supersedes our politics that we've instilled in. So I kind of try to tap into that human aspect of people and like, this is why I care. Yeah.
You know who's not political, and that would be animals, mammals, fish.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are really affected by some of our trash that's floating around in some of the seas. Fishing line that's tangled up in a turtle.
Yep.
I love that framing of it, and I'm definitely going to steal that.
Yeah, I mean,
the fish are not political.
No, they're not. They just want a clean place to live.
Now, in some states, fish do vote. I mean, we've had a few problems with
that's a whole other show.
With overzealous governors at times.
That's another show.
But it's true. You do see pictures sometimes of turtles that have swallowed plastics, and it gets stuck in their throat, and they
or that albatross photo I posted a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
it was completely filled with plastic pieces.
There was one of a whale, I think, that was hung up in some line and stuff like that. And the fishermen took the time to, and the thing, the whale just laid there by the boat and let them do it. To set them free.
Amazing.
You could tell they knew what was going on.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So, what do you spend your days doing?
I'm dealing with that right now. Currently, it's whiplash. 2 weeks I'll be traveling and going to different places and checking out different beaches or joining different cleanups or speaking. And then I'll be here doing fluffy sand checks, playing in the sand, just at the beach all day. So it changes rapidly. But I kind of just have enjoyed the fun of it, and just every day seems like a new adventure. No routine though is getting a little bit stressful. So maybe hopefully The thing is, my hobby became my full-time thing, and now I don't have a hobby, so I've been like trying to figure that out.
Okay. So there's something about pick up a toy, leave a toy.
Yeah.
What's that about?
So my audience is like a lot of younger kids, and I can tell because I read my comments, and they're not the best at spelling, so I know that they're young. Yeah. And I kept finding these plastic beach toys on the beach early last year, so I went on TikTok and I was like, what should we do about this? Like, how do we get these out of here? And they were all like, make a toy box. And I was like, that's such a cool idea. So I made it, and then it got taken off the beach by the city because I didn't have a permit. And I was like, well, I guess I got to learn how to do all that.
Yeah.
And so I kind of took my audience on this journey of how to pass an ordinance in your local town, like council, whether it be like for the toy boxes, and they've started to spread. I've seen it been working for the past like almost 2 years now. So it's cool to see like these kids out there at sunsets just playing with all the toys, and then I'll go out in the morning and then they're in the box. I was like, that's so awesome. Like it's working.
That's awesome. I've even seen artwork made out of all those shovels and pails that
cool.
have been left behind, like a rainbow of shovels and pails left
Maybe
behind.
that's my new hobby.
Yeah. Well, you maybe get a metal detector, start swinging that.
Yeah.
You'll find some good stuff.
True.
People find wedding bands and rings and necklaces because they get in the salt water, and it kind of it narrows the thickness of your fingers, and they slide off.
A lot of jewelry.
And I
don't know why you would go in the ocean with jewelry that you don't want to lose.
They don't think that they're going to lose it.
Yeah.
On the cruise, we met an sculptor artist that created art out of recyclable trash.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's something else. Oh, and, okay.
Say
So,
people that go in the water with jewelry kind of forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
they do. They're flailing around.
I went skiing with a wallet, $300 cash in it.
Oh boy.
Water skiing, by the way.
Water
skiing. Somewhere in Lake Seminole, in the northern half, about midway through, there's a wallet there with $300 in cash. It's been about 20 years.
The fish
I'm
have
sure the
spent
money's
it
still
already.
good.
Okay.
That's right. The same fish that spent that already.
They already spent all that.
That's something else. So what exactly is an eco-activist?
Yeah, an eco-activist it could be many different shades of of a person that just wants to either speak and kind of advocate for their local community, or if maybe there's a certain issue like ocean conservation that someone's really passionate about and wants to speak on the issues that are relating to those issues and climate, how they're affecting people and climate. The eco-activist part comes with, like, think activists just with more of a focus on climate action.
Gotcha. Well, that's pretty encouraging that you're getting all these invitations to join other programs. When I lived in the Florida Keys, there was a fellow who was representing a camera company, and he had a contest if you'll win a camera if you collect the most fishing line.
Cool.
So divers are going out on the reef and collecting all this stuff. They're out there anyway.
Huh.
And I
That's
think
a great idea.
He had like 3 different cameras that you could win.
That's awesome.
So,
I love challenges like that too.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking at Harvard next week for their youth summit. Kind of explaining how I approached online climate activism and how it's a new space. It kind of feels like the Wild West. There's no real like way to do it or a way that it's been done before. So it's kind of wild. I dropped out of college and now I'm speaking at Harvard next week. So
what a turnaround.
It's a whiplash. Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
fantastic.
Thank you.
That's a great turnaround.
Yes.
Now, how can others help out? Do you have like a website or a contact info? I know you're on Instagram, of course.
Yes.
And
TikTok with 2.2 million followers.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to follow me and just keep up with me, it's Trash Colin. My name is spelled CAULIN. Or if you want to just start getting started and maybe just talking about the things that you care about, awareness is contagious, and that's another way that you can help.
These followers, are they contributing to helping your cause, or what are they doing?
I used to do this challenge. I still do this challenge where I'll invite a kid to either all my followers to make a video of them picking up trash, and I'll duet it and shout them out. So it's been crazy. I've seen like different parts of the world through my followers and where they're picking up trash and what they're finding in certain different places. So it's been really cool. And I keep it really like, make sure you're wearing gloves, make sure someone knows where you're at. Like, and try to get them involved in some way. But yeah, I kind of try to come up with different creative ways to get them and making an impact in their local areas as well.
Every little bit helps.
Absolutely.
Can adults do that too?
Please. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exciting.
And you know, all it takes is if you're out on the beach, and even if you're a kid and you've got a pail, if you're digging holes, you know, fill it up.
Yes.
Fill the hole up before you leave. You know, it's a simple thing.
That's what I've been talking about recently too, is knocking down sandcastles, especially during sea turtle nesting season.
Right.
And people can get seriously injured by those holes, their ankles and knees.
Yeah. People step in them when they're looking out at the horizon or who knows what.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know that eyeballing, which is not using a metal detector, you can also oftentimes just find things just looking. Have you picked up any interesting things?
Oh man, I have found some of the strangest things on a like value level. I found people's phones, so many phones, debit cards, watches, wallets. On a weird level, I found this weird like ventriloquist doll that really creeped me out one time, and then Frank Sinatra's mugshot.
Oh my gosh.
It's just bizarre.
That is really something.
That's something.
Frank Sinatra's mugshot. Who's carrying that on the beach?
Frank Sinatra?
Yeah, maybe so.
What's the weirdest thing you ever found? Can you think of anything?
Well, nothing really extraordinary. I mean, I did find a Spanish real over in Sebastian Inlet and some musket balls. And things like that. And it wasn't dated. It was a silver, though. It was worth $30-$40, so not super. But you find it.
Yeah.
You like finding things, you know, and it's exciting when that metal detector goes off and you're digging. And, of course, your expectations are usually shot right in the held, you know, but and you end up picking up a piece of junk.
How about you, Ed?
My ex-wife.
But you buried her first, didn't you?
She's compostable.
Okay.
Yeah, he said, is she compostable?
It's the weirdest thing I ever picked up on the beach.
Good one.
Should have even came to mind.
That's great. Well, Colin,
I recycled it, though. That's right.
Colin, it's been great having you on the show. Thank you so much. And again, why don't you mention again your contact info for those who may not have caught it the first time?
Yeah, it is Trash Colin. So it's Trash and then CAULIN.
Very good.
Perfect.
Well, we'll be back in a jiffy, but first see if you can answer correctly this question. True or false, a flamingo's eye is larger than its brain? The answer when we come back.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
Shop the largest selection of Guy Harvey apparel, artwork, and gift items at GuyHarvey.com. From the world-renowned marine wildlife artist, the Guy Harvey online shop features the latest in performance apparel, classic Guy Harvey t-shirts, decor for every room in your home, exquisite ocean-inspired jewelry, and unique gift items, including custom merchandise not available anyplace else. Browse an extensive catalog of original Guy Harvey works of art and a full range of beautiful reproductions. As with all Guy Harvey merchandise, a percentage of sales benefits the ocean conservation, research, and education work of the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation will help ensure that future generations can enjoy and benefit from a well-balanced ocean ecosystem. Bring the undersea world into your everyday life at GuyHarvey.com.
Do you know what a truly special blog is? It's a website that's rated as one of the best in Florida, chock full of fantastic articles, humor, videos, and hundreds of cool pictures. So what blog is creating all that buzz? It's colorfulclearwater.com, a blog on the internet created by Kelly Kelly. In only its second year, colorfulclearwater.com is gaining in popularity every day due to its original writing and original videos and photography. It's updated several times per week with fresh content and includes everything about the color, culture, and vibrancy of Clearwater's citizens and businesses. Even though it covers just one city in Florida, colorfulclearwater.com nonetheless is already outperforming blogs promoting tourist destinations and major sports teams. Hey, see for yourself. Give a visit to colorfulclearwater.com and make it your source of enlightening insights and entertainment. That's colorfulclearwater.com.
You run your business with a laser-like focus on success. Challenges come at you from every angle, but you stay the course. Your calendar is full and your time is limited. So how do you deal with governmental issues that can impact your business? Turn to Amplify Clearwater, your Chamber of Commerce for Clearwater and Clearwater Beach. Amplify Clearwater monitors legislation on the city, county, and state levels to identify issues that will impact businesses in the region. Then they become your voice to our elected representatives. They listen, watch, then take action to either support positive legislation or table bills that would negatively affect our business community. But they need your support to continue this vital work. Why not join the Chamber today? Visit amplifyclearwater.com for all the details and to submit a membership application. Amplify Clearwater. One community, one chamber, one vision.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the Kelly Kelly Show. I'm Kelly Kelly. I'm here with my better half, Doug Kelly. Should I upgrade you to better 3/4? Yeah, we'll
whatever,
give you,
whatever
we'll
makes
give you
you
a
happy.
promotion.
Whatever
better
makes you happy.
3/4.
All
Okay,
right.
before the break, Doug asked, is a flamingo's eye larger than his brain? And yes, that's the case.
They're
How
not too
about that?
bright. They're not too bright.
I'm
I
not-
think your son one time had a
What?
had a little dot, didn't he? And he went to some park where there were flamingos. And,
Oh, you're not supposed to say that. That's
Yeah.
illegal now in
well,
Busch Gardens.
he should have gotten arrested.
He went with one of those red laser pens, and you never do that because the flamingos all go ballistic.
Yeah.
They'll start running like crazy, but that is now illegal at
Yes.
Busch Gardens
Well,
or anywhere, I
They
think.
probably think it's a gun site or something. Somebody's
Oh my
about to get
gosh.
shot.
Who
They
knows?
go crazy.
Anyway, do not do that.
Do not do
Do
that.
not do that.
That was about 30 years ago, by the way.
Our guest is David Albritton, and Dave's a friend of ours, and he's been on the Clearwater City Council, one of the 5 members of the City Council. Clearwater has a council management form of government, and there's 4 council members plus a mayor. And Dave, you've been on for how many years? 6 years now?
No, 5 years.
5 years. Okay.
Yep.
And you've got another 3 to go.
3 to go.
Fantastic. And you're going to be walking on air when the 3 years are over?
Well, my wife will be.
Yeah.
She likes to. We retired about 7 years ago, and being on council, I'm glad. A lot of great things are happening in Clearwater right now, but
For sure.
she would like to travel more.
Yeah,
and
Can't blame her.
it's definitely when I have to be here, a lot.
Yeah.
My wife likes to go to North Carolina, and then every other week I have to fly back and be
Wow.
here for a week to hit all my meetings, and then I can get there for about a week unless there's other meetings. And
Well, that's my favorite state too. So
it's
that's
beautiful.
nice. Yeah.
Where in North Carolina?
Sapphire, which
nice.
is near Cashers Highlands area.
Yeah.
And right now, I just flew back this afternoon, so I just came back. I was there this morning. The temperature was 58.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
And
how
about
lovely.
a 73, 74 degree high in the day.
Lovely.
There's a pretty lake up there, isn't there? Sapphire Lake or something?
There's lots of lakes up
Yeah.
there. There's Toxaway Lake. There's Glenville, which is the biggest, I think, highest lake in North Carolina.
Nice.
And then we have a little one that we like to walk around. That's about a 5K. They walk around it called Fairfield Lake, and there's a little girls' camp on the one side of that lake that has been there for probably 100 years. And I've got my granddaughter signed up to go there in a couple of years when she gets old enough. But,
Oh, cool. My sister lives in Waynesville during the summers.
Yep.
And that's west of Asheville.
Yes, a little north of where we are.
Yeah.
So.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Making
just
me want to
gorgeous.
go there.
It's so nice. My uncle.
They've gone to Bryson City.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bryson City. A lot of people, it's amazing. I know so many Clearwater people and Sapphire and in North Carolina, Bryson and near Asheville. That the whole area is just entrenched with people from Clearwater that go up there.
Sure.
Oh, really?
Cool off.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
It's like, it's like,
I think that's the reason.
I mean, summers are brutal.
it's
here.
like what Florida is to New Yorkers, North Carolina is to Floridians.
Yeah.
And
You want to get out of here.
Yeah.
You can drive
Escape
there.
the
You can
heat.
get there in 10 hours, which is nice.
Yeah.
You don't have to fly. Like going to Colorado, you got to fly, and it's
What do you say, drive there?
you can drive 10 hours.
I-75.
Now, if you got an electric car, it's
Yeah, well,
a
that's-
3-hour charge.
There
you know?
you go. That's different. My uncle used to have a cabin in Boone.
Yep.
Which
all I
is
want.
just gorgeous too.
I want a log cabin somewhere. It sounds like the perfect place.
Dave, just a tremendous achievement has taken place in Clearwater
It has.
recently. It's something I know you've been hoping for and working on and involved with for many, many, many years. Please express exactly what it is and talk about the opening a week or two ago.
Well, we had a ULI report. We're trying to figure out back in early teens, 2000.
I think it was 14.
13, 14.
Yeah.
What's the best way to, what can we do? So we called in the top brass. We called in ULI, which is the Urban Land Institute, and they came in and did a study of Clearwater and to give us ideas on what we could do. And, they came back and said, you have one of the most beautiful bluffs overlooking the water in the state of Florida. They had never seen anything like this. And I said, what you ought to do is really put your money where that is.
Yeah.
And they said, if you could fix that up, you would really pull in regionally, not only for the people that live here, but people from all over would come, And at the time, we had a thing called Coachman Park, which was a small park down there, and used to be a store called Moss Brothers, and then later it turned into Clearwater bought it and ended up making a kind of like a little center out of it that we could have happenings in there. Really wasn't big enough.
Yeah, right.
And Harborview Center, and we had some functions in there, but it really didn't draw a lot of people.
Never
down.
made it.
Never
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and most of the parking was surface parking in the back, right on the water, big asphalt parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, what you need to do is come in and make a bigger park out of it, have something for everybody, and put your music venue, make something bigger, nicer. And so, the council back then said, okay, we'll do that. We did the study. I remember being involved because I was on the Downtown Development Board at the time. And I went to the meetings and thought it was a good idea. Really didn't have an idea how much it was going to cost, but I think when we first started, we were talking around $60,000.
Whoa.
And
oh, wow.
yeah, well, I got to tell you something about
That'll
Clearwater.
buy a slide now.
You should
That's
have
about
said
it.
sold.
I love Clearwater. I've born and raised here. My kids are here. My grandkids are here. But in Clearwater, we love to talk and we love to discuss things and we love to spend time back and forth. It's like my wife when we go out to eat. I know exactly what I want, but she has to go and ask everybody what's the best thing on the menu. It takes her forever. If we would have started this back in 14 or 15, it would have cost us $60,000.
Oh my gosh.
But, we had to put it out as a referendum.
Yeah.
That was a little shaky because, Clearwater is not very nice on referendums, especially when it has to do with with a bluff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we had a big one that I thought we blew back in the 90s, with another project. And this actually was better, and we really put some thought into it, and we ended up spending close to $90,000 on it. But we have a great amphitheater, and we plan to have it covered because we do live in Florida, and on the way here it was raining.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a cover, and it's nice to have a cover with the sun in the shade and so forth. So we went back and forth on what the size should be, and we had I remember my first year on the council, we had a New York consultant that came down, supposed to be very famous and knowing his knowledge of things. He says, no, you should not make it any bigger than 2,500 seats.
Oh my gosh.
And I disagreed with that.
Yeah, definitely.
We've already got a 2,500 seat theater in Ruth Eckerd Hall. And I said, this is an outside venue. Now we've got Ruth Eckerd Hall. We've got, the up on the 4,000 covered seats. Mm-hmm. And really, when the construction came and they modified it over time, there's 4,000 covered seats, which is very, very nice. But we do have green beyond that to the library that we could put another 5,000 people there. So we could fit 9,000 people there to watch concerts. So
the price tag ended up being $84 million, right?
Correct.
It's hard to imagine that kind of money being spent on a park. You figure if it was 10 million, that would still be a pretty dead-gum cool place,
Yeah.
But that's what's happened with our inflation and with the cost of goods and plumbing.
Especially the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Things, since COVID.
Yeah.
Things, first it was supply chain issues.
Yeah.
Then it was the cost of construction materials. I'm a retired contractor. I used to be able to go to Home Depot or Scotty's or pick up a 2x4 for a couple of bucks.
Lumber.
Now it's $8, for a 2x4. And sheet of plywood, you can't get a sheet of plywood under $20.
Unbelievable.
But that's what happened. Inflation of prices. But I got to give kudos to our staff and our contractors. They did build it to budget, and they opened it on time.
Amazing.
Which is amazing.
It is. Yeah. It is.
And the cost, a lot of the cost went into things that the public will never see.
Mm-hmm.
I was really impressed when I first did a tour and walked the park several months ago. All the concrete there is 6 inches reinforced concrete. The reason they have that, if they need to bring an ambulance or some kind of, truck out to help somebody in the park, they don't worry about the concrete ever cracking.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then all the plumbing and the wiring and
all the infrastructure underneath,
Mm-hmm.
And people don't know it, this is amazing. Around the amphitheater and around the structures that are down there, the restrooms with the office for the boats, marina.
Mm-hmm.
There is a 20-foot seawall underneath the dirt.
Incredible.
20 feet deep that goes around there. And the idea is it's built for a Category 5 storm.
Wow.
And if the storm comes in and Coachman got flooded, what happens when the flood recedes, it takes all the dirt with it. This will keep that from happening. So everything is Cat 5 plus, we did bring in, I think we brought in 1,000 dump trucks of dirt to build it up a little higher for that whole park. So there's a lot of costs to that the public will never understand or see. But now we have a Class A park. I talked to the contractor the first opening night. He was there, and I was under the infrastructure, the roof infrastructure, and I was just looking up, and I was just looking at the complexity of all these pipes and tubes,
speakers,
and
the lighting.
He said, we build all over the world. His company does, and he said, this was an Italian architect that designed this roof, and he said, there's nothing like this in the entire world.
Wow. That's fabulous. Ed, you went to the opening.
I was just going to say, they were saying some of the expensive people don't realize if you kept an eye on this thing being put together after the mountains, or not the mountains, but some of the dirt was moved into place and stuff, and the concrete going in, the amount of potted plants it must have taken to get this thing together. I know it's kind of strange, but the potted plants, I kept seeing just rows of them being come in and being planted. And you're not talking about putting seeds in the ground. We're talking about full-size plants, full-size trees.
Wow.
Everything. I mean, it's just
incredible.
like it's been there for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It looks that way. I mean, and the sound, which is the amphitheater, was an absolute hit.
Yeah.
You think, well, like David said, there's 4,000 covered, but it's not. You're not sitting on concrete. There's actual natural turf in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's fake grass, so there's no dirt. You're not sitting on concrete. The chairs fit nicely on there.
Yeah,
and it gives it a soft feeling too.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of other things too. You've got a splash pad for the kids,
right?
You've got a playground for the kids, a huge green area. I think you have a lake or something is there in the middle of it.
Fountain.
So something for everybody. The lake is a great respite area, and I see it as a great venue for having weddings and things.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really tastefully done and nice. And in the middle of the park, you got the, and I got to say, we have 39 splash pads.
Wow.
They wanted to make sure they doubled what they had on the pier in St. Pete.
Yeah.
So.
A little upsmanship, right?
And I tell you what, it was so hot when the opening day. I felt like, I think I'm going to go down the splash pad.
We were sitting there talking. Could this get any better? And I said, yes, if it were in November.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because it was hot.
Well, it's going to be a huge attraction, not only for residents, but as you pointed out, Dave, it's going to be a tremendous pull.
Oh, it's
for
not
people.
not only regional, but the people that I've heard that come in there they're just awestruck. And I tell you, I think the entire state of Florida is going to recognize Coachman Park as one of the nicest parks in the state.
It's a major attraction now.
Gas-powered torches that change the colors. Light up colored torches in the bay walk that you can walk along the water.
Eventually the bridge, maybe.
Yeah.
You can find the money.
Well, and we're going to find the money for that.
Yeah.
That was one of my things that we had to
scrap.
We had to postpone it, but we've already got the DOT permits for it. We started that a while back. That was when the lighting cost was $1 million.
Yeah,
but
now
then
it's 3 or 4 now. Yeah,
it's sort of around 3, and we just said we're not going to spend that kind of money right now. But I would like to maybe say that we put out a call to the public and say, why don't we all toss in some money and see if we can make this work?
Yeah.
I had a better
fun thing.
I had a better solution to that, and Kelly knows what I'm talking about. We're going to talk about that off the air. But one thing was brought up. One of the ugly things that's going on right now is the demolition of the old city hall.
Yes.
When that's gone, I know eventually something's going to be built there. Are you going to utilize that area in between? In other words, once it's gone, will you use that area for a bit? Will it be a bluff or whatever?
No, the parking will be utilized.
No, I was thinking the parking will be utilized, but
the building itself, the area of the building. No, they've got design. They're going into their plan review right now for it. So they're going to take off pretty soon on it. So
that's good.
We had a little delay on it because they found some asbestos underneath some. I think it was marble that was glued on with some asbestos in the glue, and they had to take care of that. So,
and of course, asbestos was related to some cancer concerns.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You just can't throw it in the dump. It has to go in special. Has to be taken out
unit
in a special way, and then discarded in a special way.
That's great. Well, the Sound too is going to host some international groups, big name groups.
Yeah.
And Ruth Eckerd Hall has been contracted to handle it. And of course, they're already used to having first class acts and level 1 actors and actresses and everything else come by. So
speaking of first class acts, nice. Dave, I thought you were going to bring your guitar and sing for us. What happened to that?
Oh, I had to run out of the house, and my guitar would have got wet. Okay.
Or are you going to get up and sing with any of these famous people?
Oh, I doubt it. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, next time, hope you bring a guitar.
Yeah. We'll have to do that. Strum some and sing along with Dave.
Yeah,
Why
you
not?
know, I thought maybe we would talk, and I'd like to come back and talk about Clearwater's music history, since
Yes.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
know, I was involved with the when I was growing up in the '60s, I went to the Star Spectaculars that they had, and just a real brief little thing about this.
Sure.
I was just blown away. You know, back in the '60s, Clearwater's population was 8,000.
Oh my gosh.
I looked up the census, and it was 8,000 in the '60s.
Wow.
And we had groups like Jerry Lee Lewis, The Circle, Roy Orbison, Bobby Goldsboro, Herman's Hermits, Beach Boys, Rolling Stones, Johnny Burdette, Dick and Dee Dee, Bobby V, Fabian, Ray Stevens, Del Shannon, The Impacts.
But did you have any name acts?
Yeah, we had much more than that. But I mean,
That's
had
incredible.
big groups, and we had opening acts. You know, local bands that would play before the opening, the main act came in.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys, just because they got to meet some of these famous people, got inspired, and you know, went off and became famous themselves, right from Clearwater.
Right.
Yeah.
One was Bertie Higgins.
Yep. He lives in
he was
Tarpon Springs now.
Yeah, kind of a one-hit wonder with Key Largo,
Yes.
but guy named David Muse, he formed Firefall and later played with Marshall Tucker Band. Rodney Justo went on to form with the Atlanta Rhythm section.
Ah.
And you know, we just had such a great music history in Clearwater that lasted 10 years. And I'd like to show that in a way. I hope we have some kind of music museum that gives the history of Clearwater.
Yeah.
You know, Dennis Yost was the lead singer of the Atlanta Rhythm section.
Yeah.
And he has some wonderful hits that have stood the test of time too.
Absolutely.
But of course, the number one marquee guy, I guess, is
The Doors.
the Doors and Jim Morrison.
Jim Morrison. I just got a book, Jim Morrison's Clearwater.
Well,
and it's a book about all his life here in Clearwater.
Mm-hmm.
He lived up off Fort Harris. Well, actually, Osceola.
his grandfather or something. Yeah.
His grandfather.
Uh-huh.
No, they lived with the grandfather, but the father was in the military, and I think I met him when I was in my mid-teens. There was a place in St. Pete called. Let's see, I got to think of the name of it. It was where you could go and listen to poetry. And, you know, it was kind of the hippie days.
Right.
And he was a poet when he lived here.
Yeah.
And he would get up and,
that.
yeah, he didn't get into the band thing. He took his poetry and went out to California, and that's when he put the poetry to music and had a band. And he was a character, though.
He got kicked out of Florida State. He went to FSU.
He went to FSU, and my good friend Judge George Greer was his roommate.
Is that right?
And
Is that right? He must have some stories.
Oh, he does.
So why don't we have like a statue of a blue door or something down in Coachman Park?
Well,
we do have the blue door up in the library if you want to go see it. It's up on the fourth floor. Yeah.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah. It's the front door of his house.
I just learned something right there.
There you go.
He died, I think he was in Paris or something, and died of an overdose overseas. And just like Janis Joplin and some of the other.
He was a
John
bright
Belushi.
candle that didn't live
Burned
long.
himself out. Yeah. But he was certainly an international star without a doubt.
Where in the library is the store?
On the fourth floor.
On the
Go up
fourth
to the
floor.
media. Yeah, so that they have.
I did not know this.
And you can have any kind of a recording, whether it's on 8-track or whether it's on 8mm or what, and you want to put it digitized.
Mm-hmm.
They have every machine to put it on to digitize it on for free on the fourth floor.
Fantastic. Well, Cal, it's time to wrap things up.
Okay.
Let's thank our guests.
Thanks to Colin Donaldson. He is the Trash Colin. He's an eco activist. And David Albritton, Clearwater City Council member.
And also, we'd like to thank Jimmy Johnson, the great football coach, Wade Boggs, the national, Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, Wade Boggs, and Guy Harvey, conservationist and marine conservationist. So, Kel, what is our verse for the week?
Our verse for the week is Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you.
And always remember this, sometimes out of the mountain of despair, you can find a stone to build on. Thanks a lot for listening to the Kelly Kelly Show. On behalf of Big Ed Davis, Kelly Kelly, and myself, please listen in every Monday at this same time and place for another edition of the Kelly Kelly Show.
WTAN, Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF, Dade City,
FM 102.3.
Listen.